Hey sis, hey sis, hey. You are tuned into 101 TKO Radio. And this is the She Wins Show with your favorite coach, Andromeda. Coming to you live every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., bringing you information, inspiration, entertainment, and the game plan to win in life and business. I am so excited. How y'all feeling out here today, the day after Christmas? How are y'all feeling? Listen, I woke up this morning feeling very, very, very grateful, and I hope that you did too, right? Like the holidays can definitely be a stressful time for us, but I think that if you are intentional about how you spend the holidays, it doesn't necessarily have to be as stressful. And what I found that this holiday season was a lot less stressful for me than it has been in previous years for many reasons. Some of the things that we talked about on this show, right? Like, so me and my husband, we set a budget for the gifts we were going to buy. We were very clear about who we were buying gifts for. So we didn't have to worry about overspending. We didn't have the stress of looking at our accounts after the fact, like, oh my God, what did we do? We also took time to be present. So, I recently just went live on the She Wins Society Instagram page, and I shared that this is the first Christmas of, like, I don't even know, probably 20 years of my life that I did not, have my phone out. I was not scrolling social media. I was not taking pictures for the gram. I was not, sharing my gifts. I was not doing any of that. Like, I was totally and completely present. And I feel like that also helped to reduce a lot of stress this year because it was just being, you know what I'm saying? Like, me and my family, I spent with this Christmas with my in-laws. Everybody was just comfortable. We ate good food. We laughed. We were able to just be ourselves. Nobody felt like they had to be like, made up for the camera or any of those things. And then also we just got to experience the blessings of being present. One thing that I realized is that you miss out on a lot of blessings when you are not present. Like, this is a true story, right? Think about this. When you are focusing on the past, or if you are focusing on the future, or if you are, in a current moment, but you're not actually in the moment, right? Like, I think all of us can know what I mean when I say that. Like, let's just say you're out with friends or you're on a vacation, and after the vacation is over, like, you don't really quite know exactly what you did so much. You have a bunch of pictures that show you what you did, but didn't fully embrace like the experience because you were so busy taking pictures. I think a lot of us can relate to having a lot of moments like that in life where we were there, but we weren't there. And so when you're like that, you really do miss out on a lot of blessings. Like, you miss out on the people that God may have sent into your life to give you a special message. You miss out on opportunities to, like, just, be yourself and to enjoy the environment and the experience. You miss out on just divine guidance from God that you are receiving when you are, again, focused on everything except for being present. So I had to testify to that today on this good, beautiful Tuesday after Christmas, with today's theme being God isn't finished yet. That, listen, God is definitely not finished yet. He's working on all of us at all times. And I can say that, again, here I am, getting ready to be 38 years old. And as of this year, I've really, really, truly learned the value of being present. And I think that came from going through many years of my life and looking back and saying, like, dang, time is just going so fast, right? I think, how many of us as adults for real feel like time goes by faster as adults than it did when we were kids, right? Like, oh my God, where does the time go? And what I really think about is that when we were kids, we were able to be more present, right? Like, we were there for those special moments. When we were outside playing with the kids in the neighborhood, we were playing with the kids in the neighborhood. We weren't thinking about, like, oh, what we got to do when we get in the house. Most of us got in trouble for not doing our chores, right? Because we were so single-minded. Like, for mom, I was just out there playing. Like, I forgot. You told me to take out the chicken. You know what I mean? Like, we were so present that it seemed like years took forever. Like, it took forever to get to our next birthday. Now it seems like every time we blink our eyes, like, we're celebrating another birthday and time is flying, because I think that as adults, we're constantly focusing on the future, right? We're focusing on that next thing that we need to get done. We're not taking enough time to fully embrace the moments that we are in. So today, I really just wanted to testify to the fact that it's very important for us to slow down and take time to be present, right? Many of us are preparing for this new year and saying that, we want this new year to be better than 2023 was for us. And what I say as a life coach is the only way that 2024 becomes better for you than 2023 is if you improve yourself, right? If you get better. life doesn't get better by chance or accident. Life gets better because you're taking time to personally develop and professionally develop and improve yourself. So, if you haven't taken time to just really sit with yourself and reflect on this year, the lessons you have learned, the blessings you have received, I definitely encourage you to do that before you step into 2024. Like, really take time to evaluate yourself, your life, your movements, your choices, and anything that God may be trying to say to you in this current season of your life. All right. So that's my testimony, because we have an amazing special guest coming to join us today. Her name is Dr. Quandra Banks White. You can find her music by searching Quandra Banks. I actually listened to her on the way to the station today. I've heard her music. Oh, we have a caller. Shout out to the callers early on. Yes. Who is on the line?
Hello?
Hello. Who's calling?
Chanel Wilson.
Hi, Chanel. Thank you so much for calling in. What would you like to share with us today?
I'd like to hear what's going on in my life. Oh, I'm going through a heartbreak, and I'm trying to get over it. But
I think we can all relate to heartbreak. Do you want to share with us, share a little bit more about that with us?
yeah,
Okay. The floor is yours. We're here to listen.
repeat that.
You go ahead. You can go ahead.
Um, um, I thought that I'm the only one. I come to find out that he was, cheating. So I had to leave him alone. And for some reason, it's like I can't. It's like I can't leave him alone for all the things that he's done. It's like I still want to just hang on in there, and I know that I should.
Mm-hmm. I think that
I like to read inside, read him, but I can't because he's so the way how he moves fast.
mm, I think that so many women can relate to situations where we have, felt like we're in love with a person, and it's very difficult to, move away from that situation. And sometimes it doesn't. It's not just you break up one time. Sometimes it's multiple times that you have to break up before you're finally done. So you're not alone in that. I can tell you that there are so many women out here listening right now who know what it's like to feel like they should be done with somebody, to know in their heart they should be done with somebody, but not want to leave them alone. So you're not alone in that. What did you say your
Yeah,
name? What did you say your name was?
Chanel will.
Chanel. Okay, Chanel. I do appreciate you calling and sharing this with us. Well, I want to encourage you today. One thing that God has blessed women with is intuition. God has blessed us with intuition and discernment. A lot of times we're looking outside of ourselves for answers when deep down we know exactly what we need to do. And so if you're feeling like, this person has shown you that they do not have your best interest at heart, they are not good for your health, they are not good for your mind, they are not good for your heart, I would encourage you to just really trust yourself, because sometimes we can cause ourselves more harm by continuing to go back to something that God has tried to remove us from, right? Like, how many times
Yes,
you probably
ma'am.
can think about times in your life where, like, you saw all the signs and God was like, no, stop doing that. And you kept doing it. And then it caused you greater harm, right?
Yeah,
Right. So, oftentimes we pray to God to give us clarity and to remove things from our lives that we don't want there. But when we pray that prayer, we're not always ready for Him to actually remove people or for Him to show us who people really are. And that's the painful part. But
that's true.
but you will get through this. You will get through this. And what I want to do is I want to challenge you today is to think about all of the previous times in your life where you thought you were in a situation where it was just too hard for you to overcome, but you overcame it. I want you to take some time today and really think about those moments, because that's going to show you just how strong you are and how good God is. If this is just a moment, it's just a season. And there are so many lessons and blessings in this current situation. So don't give up. Feel what you feel, but don't give up hope and keep believing in love and keep believing that you deserve the kind of love that God intends for you to have. Okay,
Yes,
Chanel?
ma'am.
Does that helpful? Was that helpful for you?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Well, keep your head up, Chanel. You deserve the best love. You deserve love that is loyal and kind and compassionate and thoughtful and caring and considerate. You deserve that. And if that's not what you're getting,
Uh-huh.
if that's not what you're getting, then go get what you deserve. Okay, sis.
Yes, indeed.
All,
Yes, Lord.
all right, Chanel. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Bye. All right, y'all. So listen, I'm loving how we are starting this show off. That great gave me so much great joy to speak with Chanel. I appreciate her for calling in and being vulnerable. Did y'all hear the difference in her voice from the time she called and the time that she hung up? Did y'all hear it? She called feeling so down. This is the power of us being able to encourage one another, to be able to share our testimonies, to be able to teach people from the experiences that we've had. That's the power of that. This is the reason for the season, you all. This connection that we have with one another. And on today's show, we're going to talk to Dr. Quandra Banks White about how to let God use you. And so in this moment, I want to thank God for allowing him to use me on this radio show to impart some wisdom and some encouragement into my sister so that she can walk with her head held higher today. Shout out to you, Chanel. Can we give her a round of applause for calling in today? Can we give? Yes, come on. All right, y'all. Let's keep this good energy going, okay? My special guest is going to be here in 8 minutes. All right. So if y'all want to call in, the number is 678-439-7419. We're going to be taking calls throughout the entire show today. Also, if you can't call in, if you're back at work today, you can tune in live from YouTube or Facebook and comment, and I will see your comment up on the screen, and we can encounter or interact with you in that way as well. Okay. So moving on really quickly before our special guest comes in, I want to talk to you about today's national days, because y'all know we do this every Tuesday. We want to see what the world is celebrating today. So today's national days that I feel like are important for time's sake are National Thank You Note Day. So I think on this show I previously shared that one of the challenges in the She Wins Society community this year was 30 days of thank you notes. I participated in this challenge as well. And when I tell you so many blessings came from doing that, not only was I able to take some time to just express gratitude to those people who positively impacted me throughout my lifetime, I was able to reconnect with people who, they positively impacted me, but I may not have spoken to them in a few years. So I was able to reconnect. And I was able to release, like sometimes there are people who come into our lives for just a season, right? And sometimes when those relationships end, we are heartbroken, like Chanel said. We are heartbroken, and sometimes we are even bitter by those separations, if those were friendships that ended and things like that. And what I was able to do on this 30 days of thank you notes, I was able to be able to express thanks to those who positively impacted my life, even if just for a season, even if we no longer were talking, even if I had no desire to have a relationship with them anymore, I was able to see the blessings that came from that relationship. And I think that oftentimes we are quick to throw the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to relationships that end, right? We can think about all the negative things about that person or about that situation, but there was a point in your life where that person added some value to your life. There was a point in your life where you enjoyed being around them, where whatever they experienced you were getting from them was something that you found value in. And so I think we should remember that throughout life. Like, just because you end a relationship doesn't mean that a person is bad. It just might mean that they're on a separate journey, or you're on a separate journey, right? You all have gone down the same path for so long, and now God is saying, I need you to go this way, I need you to go that way, so that you can learn what I need you to learn in this new season. And it doesn't mean that, again, we're bad people because we separate. It just means that our purpose is leading us in different directions, and that is okay. I firmly believe that God is always working on all of us at all the time, right? And so if there are some things that God needs me to learn in a certain season that requires me to separate from certain people, then that is what I am absolutely obedient about doing. And I think we all need to do that while also giving other people grace to do the same, right? Again, not just throwing them away or bad mouthing them or acting like they were just a horrible person for the whole time that you knew them, when most of the time that is not true, right? Okay, so National Thank You Note Day is on December 26th and is recognizing the time honored tradition of thanking people for their gifts, hospitality, and generosity. It is there to get some note cards, paper, pen, envelopes, and stamps to write those special thank you notes. And listen, there is nothing like, I know that we're in the age of technology and social media and text messaging, but people really do still enjoy receiving letters in the mail. Okay, like because imagine how often it happens. It doesn't happen often. So when it does happen, it makes people feel extra, extra special, right? So take the time to thank family and friends with a personalized message that has special meaning. The receiver of the thank you will enjoy getting the card in the mail and the message you have written. Personal messages also convey to friends and family a deeper, more intimate sentiment. These handwritten notes, however brief, carry a tactile expression of thanks that verbal communication often lacks. So, how do you observe thank you? National Thank You Note Day. Write a thank you note and begin your thank you note by acknowledging the specific gift and how thoughtful it is. If the gift was delivered, then assure the sender arrived at sender. Ensure the sender arrived, received it, and how much you. I'm sorry. Assure to the sender that it arrived to you and how much you enjoy it. And if the giver presented the gift personally, mention something you remember from your visit, then thank them for the perfect gift they took the time to bring by describing it and how ideal it is for you. Close your thank you by gushing about how kind the giver was for remembering you. And within a few lines, you have the knack of writing thank you cards. Share your tips using National Thank You Note Day to post on social media. Okay, so I definitely want to encourage us to do that. Again, I'm all about sowing seeds. I'm all about when I think about preparing for the new year. A lot of that for me looks like sowing seeds. That looks like being grateful. That looks like exuding the energy that I want to attract in the new year. That looks like healing. That looks like taking time to reflect and improve on myself. That looks like taking time to reflect on the lessons that I have learned this year and show appreciation to God for the blessings that I've received. Because many of us, sometimes when we are feeling like we're lacking stuff, we forget about how much we have and how much God has done for us. And when you don't have a spirit of gratitude, it makes it a lot more difficult for you to attract more into your life. So that's really what I want to encourage us with. Our special guest will be here in now 3 minutes. We are definitely counting down to get her in the room. Nelson, do we need to take a quick break before we bring our special guest in? Okay, y'all. So we are going to take a quick break. I want to remind you again before that break that we are playing tunes from Dr. Quandra Banks today. You can find her music on Apple Music. You can find it on YouTube. When she gets here, I'm sure she'll tell you other ways that you can listen to her music. But as we started today's show, we played "Turning Around for Me" featuring. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna read the whole thing. "Turning Around for Me" featuring DeAndrea Robinson and Frederick Moore. Okay, by Quandra Banks, Quandra Banks. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break. This is Coach Andromeda on the She Wins Radio Show on 101 TKO Radio. We'll be right back. Hey sis, hey, hey sis, hey. You are tuned into She Wins Radio Show on 101 TKO Radio, and we are back. That last song that we play is from our special guest sitting here right next to me. If you're watching live on YouTube or Facebook, you can see her beautiful face. She is in the building, Dr. Quandra Banks White. Woo woo!
Hey, what's up, family?
Welcome, Dr. Quandra.
Wow.
So before we get into everything else, will you please tell us the song that was just playing right now?
So that song was No Greater Love. I actually came out with that song, I want to say 2 years ago. And of course, every song that God has given unto me, it's a story behind it. And No Greater Love, I actually went to jail. Many people probably don't know. I went to jail. And being behind those walls, like, you have so many people that tell you, I'll be there for you, I got your back, and this and that. So when God put me behind those walls, I found out who really had my back. So God gave me that song in the midst of being behind those bars. So, and God just reminded me, I told you, my love is greater than anybody's love. So, being in the midst, I'm just like, God, wow. And I was actually on my way to do a wedding. Couldn't even do the wedding because the officer was so rude and so disrespectful. Mind you, I had nothing on my record. No tickets, I ain't never been in jail. It was just clean. But for some reason, God just had me to go through all that because I could not relate to people that have been behind bars if I did not witness being behind bars. So, even though I had to give up my right for somebody else's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Just to be able to experience something where I can be relatable to everybody that have experienced that. So, me telling people, how can you say this if you ain't never experienced this? I have experienced it. I know the feeling. I even know the feeling of not having, the people that say that they got your back, with you and things like that. But God had me all along. And even in the midst of that, he put angels. Girl, when I tell you they had handcuffs on my arm, my hands, my feet, like I just had done something, like a robbery or something.
Wow.
Nothing. But it was just the fact of being in those shackles. You hear what I'm saying? And God allowed me to go through and face that just so I can be relatable and tell somebody else. Because when I came out, I had to tell my testimony. And it freed so many people that had a closed mouth. But because I experienced that and God allowed me to go through that for somebody else's wrong, I was still able to come out and be a witness and say, you know what? I went through this, but it did not break me. I went through this, but it did not harm me. I went through this, but it did not allow me to stay stuck mentally. This was something that God allowed me to go through, but it elevated me at the same time. So God allowed me to, go through that, experience that, create a song. And so many people, they want to be creative, but they don't want to be, in a place of pain. Pain, it brings creativity.
Yes, it does.
It shows you another level of yourself.
Yes, it
that
does.
You don't even know that's within you.
Yes, it
so
does.
I'm grateful for the hard times. And when I say that, I'm not just saying that just to say that. I'm saying that with a sincere heart. Like, I'm grateful, God. If it wasn't for you to allow me to even step in things, I wouldn't even have power the way that I have power. How would I recognize victory?
You wouldn't.
I have to go through something.
You have to go
in
through something.
order to know that you have the victory, you have to go through something in order for God to say, you know what, now you can say this.
Yes.
You don't know what victory feels like. You don't know what it is.
Oh, goodness. Okay, y'all. So listen, we have a caller on the line. We're going to go ahead and grab this call. Yes, caller. Who is on the line?
Yes.
Hello. Who's on the line?
I'm Rochelle.
Rochelle?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Rochelle. What do you want to share with us today?
I was calling in about Quandra Banks.
Yes, she's here. She can hear you.
Hey.
Hi, Quandra. I was just calling in to let her know that I love her.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What you love about it?
it's very inspirational, motivational. Like it's just like when you're having like a bad day or maybe going through trying times,
Wow.
it's your music is like everything.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. To God be all the glory. I'm thankful that God even gave me the opportunity to even create and be able to inspire you guys to keep going. So that's why I do it for. That's the whole purpose. So thank you so much for even listening and hearing my pain through my music.
Yes, ma'am. You post call in, I was like, I'm gonna call in and see, give my feedback on her music. Hey, I do have one question. Do you know when you'll be doing a live show in Dallas?
I'm actually working on a tour. I will be touring next year, this coming year. So yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned. It's about to be great.
Yes, ma'am. I want to meet you in person.
Yes, ma'am. Stay tuned. You never know. God might grant that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Well, God bless you guys. Have a good day.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
too. Thank you for calling in, Rochelle.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, y'all heard it. I think y'all might have heard it here first on She Wins Radio that Miss Dr. Quandra Banks is going on tour next year. Yes. All right, y'all stay ready and tune in for those dates. Before I say anything else, I don't think I said Dr. Quandra Banks is an award-winning gospel artist. Let's just go ahead and put some respect on her name. Also, I want to say that some things that you shared just really like resonated with me. I was receiving some guidance from an elder some years ago, and I remember him saying that struggle is ordained by God. So I just want to just give confirmation to what you were saying, because that does resonate so much with me. Like, we need struggle. You're right. Like, we do not find out who we are, what's really inside of us, how strong we are, how creative we are, until we go through those moments that pushes that out of us. Because if life was just easy all of the time, like, what wouldn't we do, right? Just imagine the things you would not discover, the places you would not go, the people you would not connect with if you've never experienced any struggle. So many of us would still just be in this infant stage of like, sucking on the bottle, because
Right.
Who's forcing us to drink out the cup, right? Who's forcing us to use the potty? Who's forcing us to stand upright and stop crawling on the ground? You got to have some struggle. And throughout our life, from the time we were born, I think we forget this, but every time we needed to elevate to another level, there was difficulty attached to that. Oh, shoot, y'all got the lines lighting up on this day today. I love it. Caller, we got another caller on the line. All right, caller, who is listening? Who's calling?
Hi, my name is Benika.
Hi, Benika.
Hi, I just had to call in. I did for Quandra Banks.
Yes.
I always share her posts, and I've been inspired by her ever since she first went viral with the song, before all of this. And I just have to share, the testimony of the song. One of my favorite songs is whenever it's called Turning Around. When I think about that song, is how it encouraged me, is when I was just going through with, incarceration of my husband for 3.5 years. He's been incarcerated, and now he's in parole review. And then also just with the transition of when I was without transportation. So from September 1st to September 14th, I was without a car. And God turned it around and, got me in another vehicle. But when I think about when I was catching buses and walking in between that time, it's almost just like it was a fast for 14 days. So I just want to say, Quandra Banks, keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep allowing God to move you. And I pray one day, you will, get to come to Tyler, Texas, so just inspire me and motivate me every day. That's why your posts, everything you post, and all the videos you do, it encourages me, and you're helping me. You've got me through a lot of things, from your music.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I just want to say to you, hold your head up. It won't always be like this, because it won't always be like that. Trust and believe that God has your back through it all.
Yes.
Amen.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, ma'am. So you have an amazing day, and don't allow nobody to stop you.
Thank you so much for calling in, Rochelle. Okay, we have another caller. Okay, caller, who's on the line? Uh oh, did we lose him?
Not there. Oh, no, for sure.
Oh, caller, are you there? Caller, are you there?
Oh, that's
Oh,
not
we lost him. Okay, so y'all, we're gonna take a quick break. And if you have been listening and want to find out how you can call in, 678-439-7419 is the number. When we get back, we're going to talk to Dr. Quandra about surviving depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, homelessness, near-death experiences, a vulnerable moment that led to a viral video, keeping faith in the midst of hardship and pain, and letting God use you. Y'all stay locked in right here to She Wins Radio Show on 101 TKO Radio. We are back, and you are tuned into the She Wins radio show on 101 TKO Radio. This is your favorite coach, Andromeda, and I am sitting here with our very special guest, award winning gospel artist, Quandra Banks.
What up?
Okay, y'all. So listen, this is going to be. It looks like it's going to be a caller day. Okay, we got a lot of calls coming in. So before the next one comes through, we're gonna go ahead and try to get into some of these things I wanted to touch on with Dr. Quandra today. So I saw that you wrote a book.
Mm-hmm.
You are an author, including all the amazing things that you do. And I saw that one of the things, or some of the things you talk about in this book, is surviving depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, and homelessness. Do you want to share more with us about this book? You can tell us the title and
Yes.
more about that.
So the book title is called Enduring Many Obstacles. Wow. Wow, so many people calling in, y'all. So but the book itself, it just describes what I went through, my younger life and my adulthood and battling with depression. That's something that is so accurate for everybody, that's facing challenges in their life. But I realize, battling with depression, that is a spirit of the enemy, of course, because when we not in the alignment with God, when we do so many things and we feel like that we have the upper hand more and God don't, we find ourselves battling with things that is not of God. Number one, we should never feel like that we have the upper hand on anything, more than God. But going through things in my life, I was battling because I wasn't giving God time to deal and handle with what I knew that I couldn't handle. I took it upon myself and felt like, okay, God, I can handle this. You gave me the strength, you gave me the power, but sometimes, every time the battle isn't ours, it's God. But I found myself, thinking that I could do it all. I could, change everything when I knew that I couldn't. And it's the fact of me coming out my place with God, taking upon thinking that I can do it, me doing it my way, me doing it, feeling like, okay, Quandra, you got this and you got that, but where's God? Where do I give God time? Where do I say, okay, God, you are God. Let me not even take upon this battle because it's yours. It's yours to fight. So I'm like, okay, God, I give it to you. So when I really got to that place of saying, okay, God, I give you my yes. I answer to the call. And see, so many people, they see leaders. They see so many people speaking, talking, prophesying, doing all these things. But sometimes people battle with accepting that call. And I was battling with accepting the call. I'm like, God, man, I don't got to come. God said, when are you going to trust me? So by me being disobedient, I brought things upon my life. Depression, confusion, anxiety, all suicidal thoughts. And all these things that's going on with my life, now my children is facing these things. Because what's going on with me reflects on them. But I had to make up in my mind and say, God, I gave you a yes a long time ago. And yeah, I kind of snatched it back a little bit. But I stand in fullness, saying, God, okay, I gave you my yes. I'm really going to trust you. I don't care what the enemy send my way. I don't care what he's throwing my way. I got to trust you, even in the midst of struggle. We have to struggle for his name's sake. He went through, he struggled. But not now time did he complain. He went through. And even the greatest thing that God allowed me to look at, when Jesus was going through, he was still loving. He was still supporting. He was still giving. He was still doing all these things that the Father requested of him to do. But us, when we're going through, we don't want to help nobody.
Talk about it.
We don't want to love nobody because we're in our storm. We're going through what we're going through in life. But when will we stand and say, you know what, God, I'm in what I'm in. But I got to learn how to give you a thank you even in the midst of my storm. I got to learn how to give you a thank you even in the midst of depression. God, I thank you because I know that this is a spirit. It did not come from you, but I'm going to trust you because I know that you're going to bring me out of this. I know that you're going to deliver me out of this. So even going through all these things in life, battling with all these things, I knew that God was my helpmate. So regardless of whether it's anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, even me experiencing death, my body went through some things, and for the doctor to say that I will never be able to bear another child, but I did. So, and it goes back to God, okay.
Surrender.
That's
Surrender.
it. That's all he's waiting on.
Surrender.
That's all he's waiting. And we go through all these things, y'all, because we're not surrendering. We're not obeying God. We say that we are obeying God, but we're really not.
Because we want
what we want when we want it.
That's it. Our flesh usually is taking over everything. There was a word that came to me in 2019. I remember I was just kind of like in a discouraging place, and I just wondering why certain things was not working out the way I wanted them to. And this message, this confirmation just dropped in my spirit, and it said, "You're driving the car, but God designed the road." See, we have free will. We got the will.
Mm-hmm.
But if he don't want us going in that direction, he gonna put a roadblock, he gonna put an obstacle, he gonna put a dead end, he gonna force us into a U-turn, whatever it is. But if we want to get out the car, climb the wall, that's on us, right? But we have to face whatever's on the other side of that wall.
And that's that disobedience.
That's disobedience.
And when we want to do what we want to do, when we want to do it, things happen. That's when we run into confusion. We run into anxiety. We run into depression. We run into this. Why? Because we are taking upon matters of our own will and way. When God just say, daughter, son, listen, be still, wait. But we don't want to be still. We don't want to wait. We don't want to surrender. So we find ourselves carrying baggages that we don't even have to carry.
Come on.
We find ourselves carrying things, trauma, that God is saying, let go. If you just allow me to come in, let go. Let me embrace you. Let me do it from the root. God had literally, recently, God had to sit me all the way down, put an affliction on my body, allow me to go through what I had to go through, the pain that I had to go through, the suffering that I had to endure, just for him to go to the root of me, because I was cutting people that was really loving me.
That's real.
I was cutting family members that I was pushing out the way. I was doing things of my own will and flesh. Why? Because of my brokenness, because of my trauma, because of me, the betrayal, all these things, even from childhood, the things that I did not let go of, and it followed me from my adulthood. So now it is, I'm an adult, but I'm still challenging and facing things from my childhood. So it's like the little girl is still looking at me in the mirror. We can't see that woman in the mirror because the little girl is still looking at us. And once we become free from the little girl, we can see the woman in the mirror.
Come on. Yeah. Okay, so listen, what I want to do is just take a moment, because I see y'all calling, but I cannot interrupt her when she is speaking, because we need to hear the fullness of what God is trying to deliver through her today. Okay. But I want to open up the line for callers right now for you all to call in. So I think we have somebody on the line right now. Who is on the line?
Apri, love it.
Apri?
Yes.
Oh, that's a beautiful name. Thanks for calling in, Apri. What do you have to share with us today?
I would like to let Dr. Quandra Banks know I thank God for her. Her music, she's very inspiring, and I just want you to keep me in your prayers because I'm dealing with depression and anxiety. Yeah, I do.
It's okay.
I don't want to let you go. Thank God for you.
Thank you, God.
Pastor Quandra.
Wow. Wow. All is well. That's what I want to tell you. All is well. Through your challenges, through your ups and downs, know that God has you. And while you're going through what you're going through, God is waiting on a yes from you. He's waiting to hear your voice. There's some things that God have released unto you when you was a little girl. And it's like you still hear the same thing. But God is saying, I'm trying to come in. I want to come in. Let me back in. So this is a place where you've been battling and you've been fighting because God wants to come in. You kind of gave up on him because you got mad at him in a particular season of your life, and you blamed him for something that he did not do. But God want to free you. He want to free you. Let him do it. Let him do it. Thank you, God. All is well. That's all I can hear God saying. All is well. All is well, my daughter. All is well. Believe. You gotta pick yourself back up. You gotta pick yourself back up. And know that God has you. And I even see an area where you've been battling within your finances. God said, I got that too. All I'm waiting on is a yes from you. All I'm waiting on you to do is tell me yes and remove yourself out the way. And you got to forgive. Do not go into 2024 with unforgiveness in your heart, or you're going to cause your blessings to be on lockdown even the more. Free yourself from that bondage and that trauma. Whatever mama done, forgive mama. You hear me? Whatever mama done, let it go. Let go and let God. And you will start seeing the pain remove itself from your body, from your heart. Why? Because you have given, you have obeyed God. That's number one. The Bible said obedience is better than sacrifice. And as you begin to obey God and you said, okay, God, I'm trusting you to forgive my mother. And after you forgive your mother, you're going to start seeing that pain just dissolve off. You're going to start feeling that weight come off of you. But see, the more that we hold on to unforgiveness, the more that we allow the enemy to continue to put weight on our shoulders. Bricks. When we don't forgive, he's adding more bricks. Understand, unforgiveness do not come from God. God is a God of forgiving. That's just like when we're in error. Because we're in error every day. But because he loves us so much, he forgives us. So free yourself before 2024.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that's a double season. A double season. That's a double season for many people. And I was actually in my word this morning. I was reading something and the Lord began to speak out to me. And he said, I do well on those that attend to the poor. He said, I reward those that tends to the poor. See, so many people, they think, I want to be at the top. I want to give to the people that's out. No, what about the people that's at the bottom? What about those that are suffering? God needs some of us to be soldiers, to be able to believe and trust in him and know that no matter what I go through, no matter who shoulders I have to carry, no matter what I'm facing, because the Bible said for us to carry one another's burden. See, a lot of people reading the Bible, but they're not applying those scriptures to their life. And I pray every single day, God, as you grant unto me to read these scriptures, allow me to apply this to my life. I'm not perfect, but help me to apply it to my life. And everything that you are literally carrying is not for you. It's for somebody else that can't forgive their mother. But when you step out on faith and you say, okay, God, I'm trusting you and I obey your word. And because you have the courage to do just what God is asking you to do, watch how many people you free. Watch your attitude gonna change, your appearance gonna change, your mindset gonna change. See, when the enemy can keep us in bondage and in darkness, how can we change? How can we grow? See, we got to be able to look back at that pain and say, you know what? I thank you, pain, because the enemy knows that when we don't accept and embrace our pain, he knows that right there can be a stumbling block. He feels that that's a stumbling block to us when we don't embrace what grows us. So the moment you say, okay, pain, I see you, I recognize you, and I embrace you. See, when you learn how to talk and set your language differently, the enemy, how can he defeat you?
He cannot.
So
good.
God got you.
So good. Thank you so much. Listen, I know you. That was for you, Apri, but I accept it too. I embrace that message on this Tuesday also. Thank you so much for calling, Apri. We appreciate you for taking the time to call and also being vulnerable. You know, I think that one of the greatest strengths in life is vulnerability.
Yes.
So many people go through life, and you know, we see it like on social media. It's the smiling faces, hiding, you know, behind the mask of pain. And to me, the people who can be vulnerable enough about their pain, like to me, those are like the strongest people on earth. The ones who can cry out loud and let you know that they've been through things. Those are the strongest people on earth, and they're the most inspiring as well. Yeah. So we appreciate you, Apri. Thank you for contributing to today's show.
Thank you.
And God bless you. All right, y'all. Listen, listen. This is all God, because I could not think of a better way to end our 2023. This is our last show, 2023. I cannot think of a better show to have the day after Christmas. Like this is everything. Wow. This is everything. Like, girl, I just I'm losing words as a radio personality. I'm finding a hard time thinking of what to say because I'm just so overwhelmed with just your spirit. It's for those of you who are listening, it is a pleasure to be sitting here in Dr. Quandra's presence because it's a tangible energy. It's a tangible, positive energy. So I just thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for that.
God be the glory.
All right. So where are we for break, Nelson? Do we need to take a break? Are we good? Okay, so before we take a break though, y'all, for the first time ever on She Wins Radio, we are going to be playing a new song, a new Quandra Banks song. Quandra Banks, what's up next? Let the people know.
Listen, what's up next is this new single that is going to be released January the 8th, y'all, but y'all can actually pre-order right now on all digital outlets. Listen, also, I dropped the new video to this song on Christmas Eve. So go over to YouTube right now, type in my name, Quandra Banks, and you will see the actual video. It's called You Are My God. I'm telling you, God, I literally wrote that song less than 25 seconds. I told you I was going through something. I was battling with postpartum depression, suicide. Man, listen, the list goes on. I was in a very, 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 very dark place. I did not know who I was. I didn't, man, yeah, and the list goes on. But I am back and better, and I am revived, restored, renewed, and God is just doing his big thing.
Come on. All right, y'all. We about to play that new Quandra Banks right here on She Wins Radio Show, 101 TKO Radio. We'll be right back. Hey sis, hey, hey sis, hey. We are back. You are tuned into the She Wins Radio Show on 101 TKO Radio with your favorite coach Andromeda, coming to you live every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have our special guest, very special guest, Dr. Quandra Banks White, award-winning gospel artist, and that was her latest single. Tell us more about that song, Dr. Quandra.
Oh, you are my God, man. I'm so excited to even be releasing this actual song. So this song came out of depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, pain, brokenness, childhood trauma, betrayal, and the list goes on. So God allowed me to even write this song within 25 seconds. I partnered up with one of my background vocalists by the name of Tabitha, and she actually produced the track.
Oh, wow.
She sings with me, but she also play keys. She play all type of instruments. So shout out to her. And we actually got together. She came over to see the baby, and I was like, sis, well, whenever you come by, bring the keyboard. So she ended up bringing the keyboard, and when I tell you, less than 25 seconds, like God was there, and I was hearing this, you are my strength, because I didn't have strength. You are my guidance. You're my guidance. You're leading me. You know, I wouldn't know which way to go if you was not leading me, you know, in front of me. And then you are my peace. I needed peace. I was going through all of that and I didn't have no peace. And then you are my company. No matter who's not around, I know that I have you. You're my company. So you've been keeping me. So with all that strength, you know, guidance, peace, and company, God has been all of that plus more. But he was definitely all that I needed while going through what I was going through. And I knew that God could give me the strength that I need while facing the challenges that I was going through in my life. And I knew that he would be my guidance. He would show me the way, even though I'm going through all these turbulence up and down, you know, things that I'm just dealing with in my mind, my body, you know, my spirit. And then the fact I know that you will give me peace, because you said in your word, in the midst of trouble, you will give me your peace. So that means even when trouble is around me, I won't even know that trouble is around me, because I'm surrounded by your peace. And I know that your company, you're keeping me. You're going to keep. I'm kept by you. So, and then, you know, the part as they go down to the vamp, you are Alpha and Omega. You know, I trust you. God, I trust you. And, you know, battling with things in my life, my marriage, home, you know, just so many things. God literally asked me, are you going to trust me? And, you know, it's so easy for us to say, yeah, God, I trust you. Yeah, God, I trust you. But when you're really in that situation, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Very hard. It's hard. And we don't want to doubt God. We don't want to doubt him because we know what he can do. We know him of performing miracles every single day. But at the same time, God, we doubt you too. Because I'm in this storm, and this storm looked like it has the best of me. But when we really know, can we really trust you, God? Like me and it, God have to remind me all the time, every single day, I brought you from death. So this little minor stuff that you're going through, isn't that something though?
I think that we all, like, I think all of us, me included, we have these moments when we overcome something, we be like, oh, well, if I got through that, I can get through anything.
Right.
Then that anything happens, and then you back down to square one with your faith again, like, God, are you there? What happened? Why am I going through this? Well, our faith is always being strengthened. Tested and strengthened.
Oh my God. But you know what? Through it all, we can trust him.
Yes, we can.
And God let me know that he's my God. And I know it. I'm rocking with God to the wheels fall off until he called me home. The Bible said, let nothing separate you from the love of God. I will not compromise to get to the top. No. That's why I let people know now. Don't send me no invite if you want me to compromise.
Ooh, say that again. Say it
Don't
again.
send me no invite if you want me to compromise, because I'm not going to do it.
Come on.
I'm not going to do
Come
it.
on.
Every door is not meant for me to walk in.
Come on. Come on.
Every team is not meant for me to engage with.
Listen.
Every audience isn't my audience.
Listen. And when you know, when you just know how good God is, and how you will just be wanting to just stay in His favor, because that's how I be feeling. Like I don't want nothing to compromise God's favor on my life. I'm all set right here. Like I've done it. I know what it looks like doing that.
I know what it feels like.
I know what it feels like. And that's like one of the most, I think, lost places you can be. Because I remember being in places at points in my life where it was like, you teetering the fence. You okay over here? You doing this one thing over here, but you projecting you doing something else over here. Just playing around. I feel like you're playing with God. You're playing in His face, honestly, because He sees everything. And then that's when you start to feel lost and confused, like you said, anxious, depressed. When you really just think about the root of those things,
it's all the enemy's ground.
It is.
It comes from Him. We serve a God that's fruitful, peace, love, kindness, meekness, all these things. So when you really can just digest God's fruit, you're going to start seeing those things spring up out of you. You're going to start operating in peace. You're going to start operating in love. You're going to start operating in joy. And that's why, I literally had to do a video some days ago, and I'm like, mothers, don't feel a certain way because you're not able to get your children something for Christmas. Allow your children to know and understand, because when that day is over, you still got to deal with reality. They need to be taught on how to deal with depression at a young age, because depression don't have a number on it.
It does not.
Anxiety don't have a number on it. Suicidal thoughts don't have a number. We have to teach our children the right way. I do not want to leave this world knowing that my children didn't have anything of God in them. I do not want to leave this world knowing that my children are going to suffer by worldly things, and they don't know who the answer is. They don't know who to call on when they're going through. I want to be able to have my children in a place where, yay, though I'm battling with all these things, but I know what my answer is. I know who to run to. I know who to give it to. So I don't want to be in a place, God, I'm doing all these things that the world wants me to do, but I'm doing nothing that God is asking me to do.
And we see that too, right? Like we see people who they're doing everything the world wants them to do to get fame, to get money, to get popularity, to get all of these things, right? You got the money, you got the fame, and to people on the outside looking in, they're comparing their lives to you and saying, you have everything. What do you have to be depressed about? We hear that all the time, right? You have everything. What do you have to be sad about? And then you realize, like, we see these people in these positions, they're committing suicide. All these different things are happening in their life, and then you realize, oh wait, that actually isn't.
If you have everything, then you having everything is not going to question you of you having everything.
That's right.
So if you saying that you got everything, why is it that you still feeling how you feeling with everything that you have?
Because God is missing. We have a caller on the line. Don't test me today. I'm getting all A's. Who's the caller on the line?
Hey,
Hey,
this is Nancy. I just wanted to call in for a little brief second. Just want to
Naz.
tell her just how proud I am,
Oh.
and I just want to say congratulations. I love Quandra so much. She's amazing. And I'm just listening here, and I'm still getting delivered over here. So I just thank God for this. I'm just thank God y'all put her on there, and she just, I don't know, y'all. I'm talking about she has been changing my life.
Wow.
And since I got on her prayer line, and everything's been really falling off me. So I just thank God for her.
Woo! I love that everything been falling off of you.
When she said something about bricks and you can't go in 2024 like that, I'm telling you, I'm talking about I've been like she had a prayer line. I don't know if she still do it or not. I'm talking about her prayer lines be lit. I'm talking about I'm talking about when you on her prayer line, everything just starts falling. So you know she a real woman of God.
Come on.
So I just thank God for her. And I just want to I really just want to say congratulations. I didn't
Thank
want to
you.
really talk to. I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you so much, Nez.
2024 is your baby.
Most definitely. Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you so much for calling in. We have another caller on the line. Thank you so much for calling in. Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there? Did we lose him?
Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm doing.
Okay, caller. Well, if we lost you, call on back. We'll be right here. Okay, so yes, you gotta have. I've learned God has to not only be in it, but he has to be at the top. He has to be
He has to be
first
one
person
to
that you
control
are
it.
consulting. Yes.
Yes.
And when I think about one of my most like in life, when I think about the times when I was the most discouraged or feeling most defeated, every time that was coming from comparison. Every single time. So many of us are in these spaces of feeling depressed, discouraged, defeated because we're out here looking out into the world, especially social media. I mean, I love social media like the next person, but it has increased people's issues with mental health and depression and anxiety because you have access to so many other people's highlight reels, not their lives, their highlight reels, their joyful moments of life. You're looking at your life in its entirety and you're looking at just their special moments. And now you're telling yourself, well, God, why didn't you give me that? God, why doesn't my life look like that? Why is it taking so long for me to achieve this?
But you know what's crazy, and it's not even cut you off. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, and this is what I love about God, because God will confirm what we see. Mm-hmm. So many times I have watched so many reels, and those same people that shows that on their reel, the joy and all that, the family gathering, I would get a phone call or a message in my inbox asking me would I pray for them.
Ooh, wow.
Asking me, you know, how my music have touched them, brought them on their knees. They literally crying out. And it was one guy yesterday literally inboxed me, and I had to really encourage this man, and I had to let him know, let it out. He said, I smoke weed. I have tattoos. I play hard to get. I do all these things, but I really need God. And he told me, he said, my heart is so broken. And I said, you know why? I said, you ain't gave God no time. I can't sugarcoat anything with nobody. And I told him, I said, we as people, we got to learn how to stop wearing a mask.
That's right.
To make people think that we live in a life like this.
Because for what?
For what?
When you turn it off, you got to live in your reality.
I want freedom.
Me too.
I want freedom on live and outside of life.
Okay.
If I can't live a free life, I don't want it. I'm not finna pretend. That's too much. That's what increases anxiety. Yep. That's what increases suicidal thoughts. Those are the when I'm faking.
Yep.
You know, you hear people say, fake it to make it. I will not do that. I will fake it.
Fake it. That's right.
I'm not going to live my life. I don't care what the world has to say, what they got to offer. Baby, one thing about it, the world will pick you up. They will put you on a pedestal just to bring you back down and literally call you a failure. But it's something about when my God lifts me up. I don't care what's coming to try to attach itself, throwing all type of obstacles. Baby, I can't even be touched. Because the more you literally trying to throw stuff my way, the more God is just bringing me up. So there's nothing that the world can give me that God can't give me.
Better.
Even better.
Yeah.
Even better. Eternal.
Yes.
Eternal.
Long lasting. Sustainable.
Everlasting.
Sustainable.
Committed.
Yes.
Faithful.
Yes.
Do you hear me? Like there's no limits.
The
world has limits.
Yes. You even think about that idea of again of faking it. Then you get fake popularity, or you get fake people. People are attaching themselves to this persona. Then
you got to constantly feed the people with the lies and all that just to stay afloat. Nah, baby, when God do it, I don't got to pretend. I am who I am, whether you accept me or not. I ain't changing. I don't have to change.
No.
I'm right where God wants me to be.
listen, that's it. Your gifts will make room for you. We are told that. Your gifts will make room for you. And I think that, again, that's the biggest struggle of all of us is that when we come into the world, we're immediately bombarded with other people's ideas of who we should be. We receive guidance from our parents, and most of the time it's from a good place, a place of love. But do this, act this way, speak this way, go to college and get this degree, work this job.
Yeah.
And that's our lives for all our lives until we decide, well, wait a minute, I've been doing it everybody's way, and it has not brought me happiness. It has not brought me joy. It has not brought me love. It has not made me feel fulfilled. It has done nothing for me. And then you decide, because I'm speaking for myself, then you decide, I'm done with that. I'm just going to be me. Yeah. Like Mary J. Blige said, take me as I am, or I have nothing at all. Y'all, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and keep this discussion going with Dr. Quandra Banks White, award-winning gospel artist. You are tuned in to She Wins Radio Show on 101 CKO Radio. Come on. Hey sis, hey, hey sis, hey. We are back. This is the She Wins Radio Show on 101 TKO Radio with your favorite coach, Andromeda, coming to you live every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today with our special guest, Dr. Quandra Banks White, award-winning gospel artist who has been here testifying to the power of God in her life. She has just been sharing with us so many inspirational words, encouraging words to prepare us to step into 2024 with big faith. Okay, like we know that we are not alone, that God loves us, and that anything is possible regardless of where you've been or what you have been through. So we totally appreciate you for this today, Dr. Quandra.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all so much for having me. It's most definitely a She Win day.
Yes! I love it. So I definitely wanted to talk to you about this vulnerable moment that you had that led to a viral video, because as we shared earlier today, like vulnerability is a strength. And I think that, again, I have to say social media because it's such a huge part of our lives.
Yes.
It has kind of taken away a lot of vulnerability because there's a lot of pressure to show up perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not weak, I'm not struggling, I don't have any problems. Life is good all the time, every day. I'm always happy. And so we miss out on opportunities to be vulnerable, to get help, to get people to pray for us, to just show that we're human.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a vulnerable moment that led to a viral video that had a great impact in your life. So I would love for you to share that with us.
Whew, baby, I done had so many vulnerable moments, and I'm not afraid to say that, but I would say, man, I was struggling. I was beat up. I was broken. I was dealing with so much mental, like so like when I tell you, like the words that actually coming out of my mouth is not even enough of what I'm saying. You know, I was dealing with so much in my life, and I will never forget the words before my uncle passed, because I lost my uncle and my first cousin, a father and a son. And his birthday is today. Happy birthday, Uncle. Rest in peace. When I tell you, just dealing with so much in my life. And the crazy thing about it, I went viral again off the same song, getting ready to perform the same song that I went viral on when I got the call that my uncle and my first cousin passed.
Wow.
Drowning in a lake. And this actually was the next door neighbor's house where I lived at. It was the neighbor's house where they went and fished, and they actually left doing something that they truly loved doing.
Mm-hmm.
But just throughout my whole life, I went through a season of my life broken, lonely, dealing with betrayal of friends, dealing with family members, dealing with the roots of me as a woman. It's almost like, God, I'm ready. Take me now. No longer want to be here. But then it's like God sent an unaware angel. And it's like me meeting this unaware angel at the right time gave me a boost. And I knew then that God answered me. And we know that the Bible says he won't put no more on us than we can bear. And sometimes when we're going through, we feel like, God, I can't take no more. God said, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can endure some more. But I finally got to that broken point, because not only did I, endure with all of that, but I was going through a divorce at the time, dealing with that and dealing with knowing how to raise a child all by myself, being that single mother, even feeling like I'm in a marriage, not my previous marriage, but like just dealing with all of these things. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, God, where are you? Where are you? I'm your child, somebody who's faithful to you. Not only do I mention your name, but I make sure that everybody know who you are. How can you forget about me? So those moments of my life, I'm like, God, I don't even have the finances that I need. I should be further than where I should be. But it's like God saying, no, everything is going to be on my time. Not your time, but my time. But going through all those things, I found the place where God was wanting me to focus on. And that was the place in Him to draw even more to Him. And you know, when we're in God and we're reading our word and we're doing all these things, we feel like that's enough. We feel like that's the only level that we're supposed to be. There's many levels to God. But I couldn't reach that place in my life if I did not go through the pain, if I did not go through the suffering. How would I recognize and realize the enemy was really on the inside of me? Those kills, those moments, that vulnerable moment. How could I really be relatable and talk to the people and say, you know, I went through this. I can relate to that. Yeah, I'm verified. Yeah, I'm this celebrity art. But if God isn't in nothing that we are doing, none of those things hold weight. It's not meaningful. So I always made it my due to give God what belongs to Him. No matter what I'm going through, what I'm facing, what I'm dealing with, I'm always saying, God, you know what? Thank you. I can be battling with depression, literally depressed, bound to the bed, can't get out of the bed. God, with tears rolling in my eyes. God, thank you. Thank you. Because there has been moments where I didn't feel like I was worthy. I didn't feel enough. Didn't feel important. Didn't feel like I could make it. Didn't feel like that I was going to get through. Didn't feel like, you know, I had what it takes. Didn't think that I was pretty enough. All these things that the enemy was allowing me to feel and put in my mind. He was trying everything he possibly could to get me to curse God. But it was nothing that he could literally throw my way to make me curse God. Because I stand on for God I live and for God I die. So those moments of being vulnerable, going through, telling the world, and there's still a lot of things that the world don't even know that I'm ready to tell. But it's on the timing of God. But it's to free somebody. I went through what I went through, but it did not mean that it caused my life to be right there. I didn't become anxiety. I just had to go through it. I didn't become depression. I just had to go through it. So all these things that we have to go through in life is not who you are, but it's what you have to go through to get to where you need to be in life.
Come on.
I can't impact souls. I can't reach souls. I can't gravitate to get their attention if I can't be relatable to them. Right? If I can't be vulnerable, if I can't be authentic, if I can't be real, if I can't tell you who I really am, I won't be able to reach you. You won't be able to be relatable to me. A title don't define that you are real. Your leadership don't define that you are real. Having a major platform with a whole bunch of money don't define that you are real. That just shows that you just have a lot of stuff.
Right.
What defines that you are real is having God as the center of your life and being able to endure everything that he throws your way. That's when you know that you're real. Because if I can go through the suffering, if I can make it out of this pain, if I can make it out of this bondage, if I can make it out of this lack, if I can make it out of this betrayal, I know without a shadow of a doubt, because my God trusts me. I know that he trusts me enough to know that I can be real with everything that I'm going through and be relatable to the people. To show them that there is a God that dwells on the inside of me. And I'm not alone because he said he will never leave me nor forsake me. And once I apply those things to my life, and I'm not just saying it with words, but once I really apply it to my life, then I know that it's real. And because I'm connected to the one that created me, who is free, I ain't nothing counterfeit about God.
Right.
So I'm connected to the one and only authentic God. And he dwells in me. So that means that everything that is me, in me, that God created, he created good. He created real. He created genuine. He created for me to be strengthened. He created me to go through all these things. So every counterfeit thing that has attached itself to me, that I engage myself into, whatever it may be, everything that was counterfeit now has to leave my life, because the authentic me got to come through.
Right.
The real me. No more will I operate wearing a mask just to prove to the world that I am this in reality, but I'm fighting with this behind closed doors.
Come on.
You're going to be able to see me indoor instead of outside of the door.
And I love that you use the word indoor, because oftentimes we hear overcoming obstacles, but overcoming and endurance have very different meanings. And endurance is like, I'll give you an example. I told my husband, I said, as I'm preparing for 2024, my focus is building up my endurance, right? I'm going to the gym, not for vanity purposes. I'm going to the gym so that I have the energy and the capacity to handle everything that God is going to give me in 2024. Good, bad, ugly, right? In my opinion, right? We all know it's all good, but sometimes it feel bad and it look ugly. I am trying to build my endurance in terms of my mindset. So when I get on that treadmill and I say I'm going to run 2 miles, our minds, most of the time, I'm like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. Like, there was actually a moment when I was running the treadmill because I built up strength. So now I can go further. But now my mind is like, well, I'm tired. I don't want to do this no more. Not that my legs are going to give out. Not that I don't have the strength to do it. But I just want to get off because I just want to stop. But I don't want to do this anymore. Endurance is what helps you to keep going even when you don't feel like you don't want to do it. Yeah. And so when you say endure obstacles, I just think that's so powerful, because so many people do want to just get to the point of overcoming it. There's that obstacle, jump over it. But you have to endure it.
The obstacle. Endure those triumphs. Endure those obstacles. Endure that depression. Go through all those things that is necessary that going to break off every counterfeit thing in your life so the real can come out. Yes. We are so accustomed with wearing a mask. We don't want to go through that depression. We don't want to go through that, that divorce. We don't want to go through all these things because we're so accustomed of, let me get through this. Let me just do something. Let me throw her away. Let me throw him away because I no longer want to deal with that pressure or that, that trauma or the storm. But what happens when you enter into something else and you thinking that you're going to get better by what you left, when in reality, what you left was your better? Because when you connected to somebody that brings the pain out of you, but bring pain out of you to better you, you done lost.
Come on.
You done lost.
You know what just came to my mind? You said we always trying to relieve the pressure. We don't ever want to endure it. But it's required for us to be under pressure. Pressure makes diamonds. You need to be under pressure in order to evolve into something greater. But we always trying to relieve it quickly. Let me take a pill. Let me smoke these drugs. Let me go out here and engage in something that's just going to give me some numbness.
It's a feeling. We just want a feeling for that moment.
That's it.
It's a moment.
But we need the pressure.
But what happens when God want to set you up for a lifetime? What happens when God want to set you up a lifetime and not a moment? So we so used to moments. But now I need God to do something for me for my life, the rest of my life.
Okay. This is good. I want to go back to, because you told us how you was feeling in that moment when, because I read the post. I think you posted it recently too, or maybe it's just pinned on your Instagram, where you were sharing how when you were sitting in that salon chair, singing your heart out, you was going through a very, very difficult time in your life. But as a result of sharing your gifts in that moment, even in your brokenness, it led you to a breakthrough. Can you tell us about that breakthrough?
That breakthrough was God delivering me from that moment of my life. That breakthrough was gaining wisdom. That breakthrough was gaining the knowledge that I need to be where I'm sitting at right now and to know what I know now. See, we don't look at those breaking points, but it's setting me up for my 2024.
What?
I had to go through all those things all the way down for my now, my next. And when we realize, when we say now and next, we're just looking at something that's just might. No. This is setting me up for the years to come. Not just 1 year, not just 2 years, but the years, the rest of my life. So I gotta be in a place. God want to know if He can trust you to be able to handle the levels that He want to bring into your life. Not just the levels, but the blessings. Not only do He want to bless you, He want to bless your children. He want to bless those businesses. He want to bless those business partners. He want to be able to bless you, but He got to be able to trust you. You got to be able to show Him that you can go through the fire and endure it. Yeah, we complain when we're in it. Yeah, we grumble. We do all these things, but it's setting us up to be great.
It's setting us up to be great. It's strengthening us. It's increasing our faith.
Yes.
Oh Lord, like I said, I think about all the moments in the past that I've went through that was preparing me for exactly where I went now. We don't have time today, but I went through a lot. I tell anybody that's listening, in July was one of the most difficult moments of my life. I mean, I felt like God was absent. I could not see Him. So many things was happening that it was being thrown my direction, and it shook me. It did shake me. It shook my face. I was like, what in the world is going on? But now I realize that everything that happened in July was positioning me to be right here. Had that stuff in July not occurred, I would never have moved to Atlanta. I would never have been on this radio show. All of those things happened to move me here. And I wouldn't have moved any other way had I not experienced those things. So we have to embrace. God know what He doing, y'all. He know exactly what He doing. Sometimes we gotta be moved and it's uncomfortable. But it's putting us in a better position if we could just trust it. If we could just trust it and just go with it.
Yes.
I know y'all been trying to call in, y'all. I know I told y'all to call and we had 20 minutes. And I'm so sorry if you tried to call and we couldn't get you. But listen, we were just talking about on a break how I can't put this woman on no schedule. Okay. Like when she gets to going, I have to let her go because I think that the messages that she shared, somebody needs them today. And I can tell that God definitely moves through her. I think I also shared prior to us getting on here. Y'all didn't hear me, but last year, Quandra was on my a live show that I do, and she prophesied to me that I would be on TV this or soon. I don't even know if you put a time date on, but you said you could see me on television, and I have been on television twice this year. She was the first person that I thought about once I got the invitation. Like, whoa, okay. So I definitely want to say thank you for speaking to me. Oh yeah, I definitely want to get to it. So y'all, before we go, Quandra, please tell the people how they can get in touch with you, how they can connect with you, and also let us know what we can look forward to coming up.
Yeah, so thank y'all so much for having me once again, and thank y'all also so much for tuning in on today. So you can follow me on Facebook at Dr. Quandra Banks. That's my fan page. Also TikTok, The Real Quandra Banks. YouTube, Quandra Banks. What else? I'm just anywhere, just Quandra Banks. Also, the new single that will be dropping January the 8th. You can pre-order it right now. Go to YouTube right now. Look at the music video. You can actually listen to the song as God just do something tremendously in your life and understand that He is God and He's great. But also, what I got coming up, more interviews. Also, I partnered up with one of my spiritual brothers by the name of our Pastor Enriquez. We're actually having a prophetic brunch next year in May 18th. And also September, even though it's a long way, next year I will be having a big talent show. I'm doing a major talent show. It's called the Unseen Talent Show. That's what it is. The Unseen Underrated Talent Show. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right, y'all. Y'all heard it here first. Dr. Quandra Banks has amazing things coming for us. Make sure that you download her music, download her new single. Yes. Just stay connected to her because, like I've been saying, she's very, very, very special. She's a good person to know. She has great energy. And I appreciate you for coming here with us today.
Thank you so much. She wins.
Yeah, she wins. All right, y'all. So we are going to close out this show. Make sure that if you enjoyed this show, make sure that you go to YouTube and share it with anybody else who may need to hear today's message. Also, make sure that you let your friends know, let your girls know. She Wins Radio every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then also make sure that you visit SheWinsSociety.com to find out all of the things that we are doing to unite and empower women in 2024 and beyond. Until next time, y'all, I pray that y'all have a very, very happy new year. I will see you all in 2024 and keep growing, keep glowing, and winning. Love y'all.